Hey, it's the announcement guy. I'm over here in the Teal Sanctuary. The ushers are getting ready to serve you on Sunday mornings. Hey, I'm working here. Yeah, they don't care, but they're going to be armed with bats and clubs on Sunday morning to keep you socially distanced and also to make sure you got your mask on. But anyways, welcome back. Here's what's coming up.
We've got some great classes coming up. Practical Mysticism with Patty Lukenbach starts this Thursday, March 25th online. And we introduce our new class, The Mystical Jesus, with Josh Reeves on April 6th, available both in person and online, where we learn about Jesus' revolutionary teachings. Join us for Good Friday service with Barry Ebert and our ministers on April 2nd. Bask in the sacred energy of this beautiful candlelit service as we reflect on the meaning of the last days of Jesus. The story of Easter focuses on the miracle of the resurrection, yet the phases leading up to the miracle greatly contribute to the transformation. Join us for Easter Sunday, Arise Transformed on April 4th, and Arise Profoundly with Michelle Medrano. Visit milehighchurch.org for class registration and service details.
So we're welcoming people back. We got all our ushers here who are going to help you. You wonder where to sit. They're going to help you with all that. Register on the website and come back on a Sunday morning. We're going to have two services at 8 o'clock and 10 o'clock. Life is good. Welcome home. Gina over there. How about that? Huh? How about that? Yeah.
Welcome into the building. Welcome, welcome. We're so happy to see you. You have no idea. And I just want to take a moment to introduce my friend Dax Oliver. Dax is singing with us today. Dax is also part of our accounting team, so he's on staff as well. But Dax and I started singing together, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago at the Vail Jazz Festival. And I've been wanting to get him here for a long time, so please welcome Dax Oliver.
Mother, there's too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Father, we don't need to escalate. You see, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer hate. You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines, sister, and picket signs, sister. Don't punish me, sister, with brutality, sister. Talk to me, sister, so you can see what's going on. What's going on? 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 Ooh, no. Father, we don't need to escalate. Who are they to judge us simply 'cause our hair is long? You know we've got to find a way to bring some love in here today. Picket lines and picket signs. Don't punish me with brutality. Come on and talk to me so you What's going on? What's going on? Tell me what's going on? Hey, what's going on? We gotta love one another. We gotta treat each other better. What's going on? Tell me what's going on?
Wow. Wonderful. Thanks, Dax and Tom and our band. We are off to an amazing start. We're so happy that you're here with us. We have, as you can hear if you're watching online, a lot of wonderful folks in our sanctuary who have come here to be with us today. We're glad to have you back. Welcome. This really is a dream come true. I know as I've wandered these halls, and I suspect it's the same for you, Josh, in the last year, we've wished for you. We've wanted you to be here. We have missed you. I think the building has missed the presence of our wonderful congregation. So we're so happy to be here, and I know that many people say that when they've come back into this space after being gone for so long that their hearts just burst open with joy, and I feel like that's present here in this space, and we hope you come back many times here in the future as we continue to open back up, continue to make reservations. You'll find today we have reservations open for Easter Sunday, so we would love to see you here to celebrate Easter with us. Welcome home. And those of you watching online, we're so happy that you're here with us today. It's a joy to welcome you, and we look forward to seeing you here in person, hopefully sometime very soon. What a great day, huh?
Yes, it's such an emphatic reminder this morning that a church is its people. And both Michelle and I this last year walking through our foyer out there and sometimes shedding a tear knowing that we're all maintaining this community. We've done so well online, but it's not the same. It's so special to see each other, to say, hey, Mike, I see you. I love you. Cindy, I see you. I love you. And so on and so on. We love you. We're so glad to be back together. We're so glad to keep connected online. And we've got a great service today. We're so grateful to have Dax and Tom and our music team. So grateful for the prayer coming up from Reverend Masando. And so grateful that with an audience, we can recite our vision and mission today. So it's coming up on the screen if you want to say it along with us. Our vision, oneness revealed. A world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission, to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. So just as we settle into this sanctuary today, whether it's the sanctuary of your home or the sanctuary of being right here in Mile High Church, let's open our hearts to experience surely the presence in this beautiful prayer together.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
without a doubt. We come into this remembrance that right where we are, right here in this physical space, this dome that we are in, all the way out to every single home that is connecting with us right now, from the expanses to outer space to the deep depths of inner space right here. And surely there is a presence and a power that comes to us as love, that expresses itself through us when we see another as a brother and a sister. When we allow our hearts to open for long enough to really see this beauty of life that is moving through us at all times, that comes back into our awareness when we come into a physical space or we enter into our inner space where that presence of the divine is just known. Something we've known our entire life. How good it is to just come into this place and recognize that as we feel into that, as we connect with that presence within us, we also are connecting with the presence of every single person around us who we are walking this thing called life with. And so from this place too is where we experience this thing called love. This love that moves us, this love that allows us to grieve when tragedy happens in our country. And so the grief that we may feel and the solidarity that then comes with that for our Asian American, Pacific Islander brothers and sisters, for the women in our lives, for Black lives, for brown lives. Those are just extensions of this thing called love, which really is just this movement of the divine in us and within us. And so we just give ourselves to that. And recognize all of the ways that it shows up really is a spiritual act of formation and reformation of the divine in us, as us, with us, around us, and between us. How good it is to simply remember this presence that is always here, always exactly where we are, that can get amplified when we are around another that has experienced the same thing. How good it is to be slowly making our way back to each other, both physically and metaphorically, knowing love is that force that pulls us both into ourselves where the divine is felt and back to each other where we can just recognize the presence of the divine in another's face. And so we rest knowing that when we experience love, when we experience shared grief, when we are then moved to stand with another community, that is in fact an expression and a powerful affirmation of our oneness and the love that we hold for ourselves and each other. We know that this is the truest truth of life itself, so we are a stand for love here today. And we allow ourselves to be loved, to be a presence of love, and to allow that upwelling that comes when we are in the midst of love. And so we just give thanks for this time. We give thanks for this beautiful service. We give thanks for the togetherness, both physically and through the cosmos. We give thanks for this thing called life, knowing it is unfolding through us, with us, and around us. And with that, from a place of love, from a space of love, we let it be, and we let it be so. And so it is. Amen.
Think about it. There must be higher love down in the heart or hidden in the stars above. Without it, life is wasted time. Look inside your heart, I'll look inside mine. Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What is fair? blind and we try to see, falling behind in what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. It's that higher love I've been thinking of.
And we do allow ourselves to think of that higher love. We step into a day dedicated to love, a brilliant message from Reverend Josh this morning. And I've brought some quotes also in honor of History Month, a couple of quotes from two women who I admire greatly and who are so very wise. Firstly, from Brené Brown. Love is not something we give or get. It is something that we nurture and grow, a connection that can only be cultivated between two people when it exists within one of them. We can only love others as much as we love ourselves. And from Oprah Winfrey, you must be fearless enough to give yourself the love you didn't receive. And one of the wise men in our world, our founder, Ernest Holmes, one of my very favorite quotes of his. He says, the biggest life is the one that gives the most, loves the most, includes the most, has the greatest understanding and the greatest consciousness of eternal good, and redistributes this good to the largest number of people. And so it is.
Love knows no color, love knows no race, love knows no country, love knows no faith, love plays no favorites, love doesn't care who or why or what or where. Love only knows that love is real, making no distinctions. Love heals. Love goes beyond nature or need. How can this be? Love only knows. Love only knows. Love only knows. Love knows no title. Love knows no names. Love knows no history, no pride or shame. Love keeps no secrets. Love builds no walls. And I believe there's love for us all. Love only knows that love is real, making no distinctions. Love heals. Love goes beyond nature or need. How can this be? Love only knows. Love only knows. Love only knows. Love only knows. Willingly. Love only knows. Faithfully. Love only knows. Endlessly. Love only knows. Perfectly. Perfectly. Love only knows that love is real, making no distinctions. Love feels. Love goes beyond nature or need. How can this
Dax Oliver, everyone, bringing love to song and to our accounting department. Which one gets more? We don't know, but I know you bring heart to both. What a gift to have you here with us. Thank you to our incredible music director, Tom Litch. Hasn't he done a great job leading us through these last 12 months? Thank you, Bijou. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kent. Thank you to our incredible production team that makes it all happen. And thank you for all you do for our spiritual community. It's so great to have people here again as we begin our spring renewal series today. This is something we do every year. It's kind of a warm-up for Easter Sunday. Coming up April 4th, Dr. Michelle will be giving us a powerful message that day, Arise, Transform. And our theme for our spring renewal series is Love Like That. How to use the profound power of love to renew your life. And something that also inspired this 2-week series for me is something we're calling this year our Evolved Communication Initiative. This is something that we're really stepping into this year to focus on improving our communications internally with one another in our relationships, with the divine, and in our communities, in the world. I don't know about you, but I think we could all use a little bit of improvement there. And so that inspired this message today and next week on how to use this profound power of love in our lives. And I love how our founder describes the importance of love. Ernest Holmes said, "Love is the sole impulse for creation. And the one who does not have it as the greatest incentive in their life has never developed the real creative instinct. No one can swing out into the universal without love, for the whole universe is based upon it." Yes, love is that important. Yes, love is the most creative power in the universe. And yes, there is a power of love in this universe, and you can use it. We can use it. And when we use it consciously and with intention, allowing ourselves to not only live and practice love, but to be in the fullness of love, then I feel like we've got this thing called life dialed in a little bit better. Do you agree? Yet, since love is so important, it kind of begs the question, who teaches us about love? I invite you to ask yourself this morning, who taught you how to love, for better or for worse? I have a dear friend, her name is Susan Collins. She's a practitioner in Southern California, and she once told me a story that I loved about her dad taking her out to dinner unexpectedly one night. He took her to a very nice place. He opened the door for her. He waited before her food came, before he started scarfing down his own. And at one point, he looked at her and he said, "Do you know why I'm doing this?" She said, "No." And he said to her, "I'm doing this so that you know when someone takes you out how you should be treated." And that may sound a little old-fashioned to some of us, but for her, it bonded her heart to her father and taught her a lot about boundaries and expectations on how to be loved. I had an incredible couple in my life, like second parents to me, named Mary and Alan Feldman. And they had this beautiful relationship together. And I learned so much about love just by watching the two of them. And you know that there are those couples who, even when they're bickering, it's kind of cute. They were that kind of a couple. And they're so one to me. I can't remember who told me this, but one of them said that, that one of the secrets to our relationship is what I know about Alan and what I know about me is that none of us would intentionally do anything to hurt the other person. That was so powerful to me because it told me in my relationships, am I going to get hurt? Yes. Am I going to be in places of distrust? Yes. It's almost impossible when you're that intimate with someone not to feel hurt by the other person. But if I can remember that if it's never intentional, how much easier it is to come back to a place of love from a place of distrust or fear or hurt. Alan was an incredible hugger. He's passed away now, and whenever he used to hug me or anyone, he would kind of do this throat clearing thing, kind of a and you just knew the tears were coming in you and in him. And so even today, when I'm acting from a place, especially in my relationship, that's not of the highest love, I don't hear Alan's voice, but I feel him clearing his throat. And what it's saying to me is, don't act like this, but love like that. Don't act like this, but love like that. Who taught you how to love? There are certainly many lessons that I learned about how to love that have been damaging to me, that have been really negative. Somewhere along the line, I learned the lesson that love is something to withhold from others when you're upset with them. That somehow love is something to withhold and instead give a cold shoulder or withdraw or even just be really passive aggressive. And I see how this false lesson about love has created a lot of damage in certain relationships in my life. What grew out of this as well was sometimes the belief that love isn't to be shared because it will make me feel too vulnerable. You know, that to really love is to leave yourself exposed. So it's not just kind of that male machismo. It's the idea that to really love someone is to risk breaking down. It's to risk the deepest kind of rejection. Who taught you how to love? And I think it leads to this question as well of, who are you teaching how to love? Who are you teaching? There's so many different lessons that we've probably been taught. One of my favorite stories is a short one that the great Fred Rogers, Mr. Rogers, told about growing up. And as a young boy, Mr. Rogers, Fred, if you can imagine this, was greatly bullied. And he used to think in those times when he was really feeling terrible about himself, he'd remember his grandfather, who whenever they'd spend the day together, at the close of the day, would look at young Fred and say, "It was so special to spend this day with you. And I want you to know how incredibly special you are to me." And just that little lesson about love eventually grew into what I would argue would be the most successful television ministry of all time. It wasn't focused on adults, it was focused on children. It wasn't focused on salvation, but it was focused on letting each and every person know that you're special, that you matter, and yes, that I love you. One of my favorite presentations of Fred Rogers is very brief. He once won a Lifetime Achievement Award at the Emmys, and so he gets up there with all of these, however we want to stereotype stars in an audience, and he begins by saying, I want to begin by giving thanks for all the people who loved me so much to be here today. And I want to invite each of you here to take 10 seconds to think about those who loved you, who you wouldn't be here without their help. Go ahead and I'll keep the time. Isn't that a powerful feeling to remember who loved us, who taught us how to love? And wouldn't it be wonderful to think that some people, in pondering that question, might think of you and the influence that you had on their life? I want to share with you a few lessons that I've learned and am still learning about how to love. To don't act like this, but to love like that. And the first lesson is to remember that love is sacred. Love is sacred. Sounds obvious to many of us, but I think we can lose it along the way. And this word love, it's 4 letters, but it means so much. Love can mean so many different things. Love can mean admiration. Love can mean romance. Love can mean tough love. Love can mean unconditional love. Love can be familial. Love can be romantic, sensual, even a bit naughty sometimes. But it's got to be sacred. If it's not sacred, it's not love. I love how the musician Billy Bragg sang it one time. He said, do you know what lust is? Lust is when you put your own needs above someone else's. And do you know what love is? Love is when you put someone else's needs above your own. And to me, this isn't an act of self-sacrifice. It's that ability to recognize the divine in ourselves in another person and to call it forth. It's to recognize their preciousness, their specialness, as Mr. Rogers would call it. But for us, it's that recognition of the divine spark, to honor it, to call it forth. It's one of the great spiritual and human gifts that each of us has. In any moment, you can choose to love. Why the hell would we choose anything else when we know we're connected with that sacred power? To know that each of us has that ability to recognize the sacred in someone else and to call it forth if we're willing to take that little love risk. Sometimes we don't feel love. We're not in love. And the best thing to do in that moment is to try practicing love. To love the moment you're in and to know when you love that moment, you have that ability to love anyone who comes inside of it. I love how my friend Randy Ferguson, a congregant here at Mile High Church, wrote a wonderful book called The Opening. He puts it simply. He says, the moment you give love, you're in love. The moment you give love, you're in love. And he also says, in this higher place of consciousness, loving ourselves and others is both the key to fulfillment and the natural expression of who we are. It's that simple, and yet I don't know about you, it's really easy for me to forget to love, to put something else first, which always causes me to stumble. But when I can come back to love and remember, I can bring back that spark that might feel missing from my marriage. I can bring back myself from a sense of mediocrity in relationships, from a tiredness, a laziness that doesn't destroy our relationships, but it nicks them here or there. We have to always remember to love. And something I like to use to remind me, I call it the Tao of Rodney Dangerfield. And Rodney Dangerfield was famous for his marriage jokes, most of which are inappropriate to share from this stage. But the great thing about comedy is when it has that little kernel of truth in it. That's what really makes you laugh. And like Norman Lear said, when we laugh, we are one. I think that's so true. But sometimes I know if the jokes are resonating too much, it's time to go back to love. So it might go something like this. My wife asked me to take out the garbage, and I said, "Don't worry, honey, I already did this morning." And she said, "That's okay. I just want you to go outside and keep an eye on it." We sleep in separate rooms. We eat dinner alone. We take our vacations separately. Anything to save our marriage. I get no respect at this Mile High Church, I tell you. And my personal favorite, my wife and I were happy for 20 years, and then we met. So too much of this can help remind us to come back to love. I love how Anais Nin put it. She said, love never dies a natural death. Love never dies a natural death. It dies because we don't know how to replenish its source. It dies of blindness and errors and betrayals. It dies of illness and wounds. It dies of weariness, of witherings, of tarnishings. And yet love, when we choose to consciously practice it, can restore anything, can bring back that divine spark if we're simply willing to courageously, boldly, intimately, vulnerability-filledly love the people we care about. Not just going through the motions of saying I love you when you're supposed to say it or buying the gift on the birthday, but infusing it with that recognition that love is sacred. The second lesson that I'm still learning, but it's become very important to me in my life, and it's that love is timeless. I've come to believe wholeheartedly in my life that love is timeless. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that I have learned that those moments in which I truly love last forever. Those moments when I'm just going through the motions, they fade away. Those moments where I'm just being pissy, not present, they fade away. Those moments when I'm in a place of victimhood, of anger, or hurt, they can even fade away. But those moments in which I truly love are etched in the soul in such a way that they never go away. That I can be reminded over and over again, yes, I can't travel through the past and time travel to go through them again, but I don't need to, because those moments of love are right there, always. This has been important with people who are still with me today, that I still have the honor of being in active relationships with, but it's just as important with people I know and love that have passed on. To realize that the moments of love we built together never fade away, because that love exists somewhere with our spirits in eternity. I've had the honor of doing so many different memorial services, and I don't try to talk a lot during them, but something I always try to say if I can is that when I lose someone I love, the first thing that I'm reminded of is how much I love that person. It hits me like a ton of bricks. And there's something that's beautiful and honoring about that, and there's something that's devastating about that, because I've recognized that that way in which I used to love them as a physical being is no longer available to me. But that mourning, it turns into a kind of depression when I somehow convince myself that just because the person I love is no longer here in the way they used to be, that somehow means that I can't love them anymore. And so I remember to keep loving my loved one, to love them by doing things they love to do, to love them by loving the people that they loved, to love them whenever I miss them, whatever activity I may be engaged in, and to realize, to be at least slightly open to the idea that somewhere they're receiving that love and reciprocating it back to me. What did Wesley and the Princess Bride say? Not even death can stop true love. It can only delay it for a little while. One of my favorite romantic stories actually involves someone after they had passed on. It's the story of Bill Wooden and his John Wooden, and his incredible wife Nellie, together for 60 years, married for 56 years. Nellie passed away, and I know for all of us it's different when we lose a partner. Sometimes we're called eventually to build a new relationship. John was getting up there, and he wasn't having any of that. And so he kept, even though it meant immense grief for him, he kept his love for Nellie going. At one point, a journalist wanted to write a book with him about their relationship, and it had been 10 years since she passed, and he knocked on the door, and Wooden opened with tears in his eyes. "I'm just not ready yet." A beautiful and famous Sports Illustrated article written by Rick Riley shares a practice that Wooden continued on for the rest of his days. "On Tuesday, the best man I know will do what he always does on the 21st of the month. He'll sit down and pen a love letter to his best girl. He'll say how much he misses her and loves her and can't wait to see her again. Then he'll fold it once, slide it in a little envelope, and walk into his bedroom. He'll go to the stack of love letters sitting there on her pillow, untie the yellow ribbon, place the new one on top, and tie the ribbon again. The stack will be 180 letters high then, because Tuesday is 15 years to the day since Nellie, his beloved wife of 53 years, died. In her memory, he sleeps only on his half of the bed, only on his pillow, only on top of the sheets, never between, with just the old bedspread they shared to keep him warm." That timeless aspect of love that we can always return to because it never leaves us should be the reminder to have as many moments of practicing that profound love as possible, because for me, it's that bridge to what is eternal, to our own eternal lives, finding that practice through love. A third lesson about love is that love has to be received in order to be given. Love has to be received in order to be given. And earlier, talking about lust, I was kind of referring to the people that we might call takers. People who always want to get their needs met first before doing anything for anybody else. But I would argue that these aren't good receivers of love, that their taker aspect is actually a defense mechanism against receiving love in a meaningful and powerful way. And so I think many of us have a lot of work to do when it comes to receiving real, authentic, life-inspiring, soul-stirring love. I've been engaging in a spiritual practice these last few months. Just in my meditation in the morning, I asked myself 2 questions. Josh, how willing are you to love today? And how willing are you to be loved today? I invite you to ask yourself those 2 questions right now. How willing are you to love today? And how willing are you to be loved today? And what I know in my life is when the answer is a wholehearted, resounding yes, I'm living in that perfect flow with life. Love moves in and all around, and that creative medium is at work, continuing to nurture and cultivate a life of love and abundance and meaning. But what I learned in this practice is that the answer is no, or not quite yes, a lot more than I think. How willing am I to love today? Well, I'm a little fearful of rejection. My partner said something that stung a little bit, and I'm in a kind of a place of distrust. How willing am I to be loved today? I'm a little angry with this person. I think if they try to love me, I might deflect it or reject it. Oh, I'm having this kind of conflict at work, and I'm withdrawing, I'm withheld. And so when the answer was coming up, no, too many days in a row, I know that there's work to do. Work of forgiveness, work of boundary setting, work of being willing to have a courageous conversation. Because if it's going to get you back to love, it's worth it. It's worth it. To realize that I have no interest in spending any time, wasting any time, not living from that place of love. And when I'm able to get back, there's a third question that I've been asking myself longer, but it's so meaningful to me, and it's how can I best love today? How can I best love myself today? How can I best love my life today? How can I best love my wife today? Buy her some flowers, send her a text message, give her an hour free from being a mom. How can I best love my children? Whatever it may be. And what I've learned is sometimes I maybe don't figure out what the best answer is, but I've never gone wrong to practice that act of love. How willing am I to love today? How willing am I to be loved? And how can I best love? When we can say yes to those answers and act on it, we're living in that incredible creative flow of life. And so, as kind of a closing process today, I just invite us to bring our understanding of our divinity to mind and to heart, to bring our God to mind and heart, and to ask in relationship with our God, how willing am I to love God today? How willing am I to be loved by God today? How can I best love God today? And whatever that is, love like that. I invite you to bring perhaps your most intimate relationship to mind, that person who you consider yourself closest with, and ask yourself, how willing am I to love you today? How willing am I to be loved today? Identify if there is a not quite yes there, and make a commitment to do something about it by asking the question, how can I best love you today? And whatever answer that is, love like that. I invite you to bring to mind someone perhaps who you aren't seeing eye to eye with, someone you care about, that you might be in conflict with. How willing am I to love you today? How willing am I to be loved by you today? Is there any work to be done? My son keeps not filling the ice trays in the morning when I want to make my smoothie, and so I take it as an opportunity to get a little angry, but to love him, to say, I love you, I forgive you as I refill those ice trays. And sometimes that's the answer to the question, how can I best love you today? And whatever answer that is, love like that. And just lastly, bring yourself to mind. Hold your own self-image in your mind and your heart and ask, how willing am I to love you today? How willing am I to be loved by you? How can I best love you today? And whatever that is, love like that. Ernest Holmes also said, we should believe that God is the invisible partner in our lives and affirm that divine love goes before us and prepares the way. We should permit ourselves to be guided, for there's something within us, deep at the center of our being, which knows what we ought to do and how we ought to do it. Don't act like this, but love like that. So taking that love into a prayerful moment, I invite you to join me as I indeed recognize and honor that aspect of each of us that knows just what we ought to be doing. May not know exactly how it should look, but it knows exactly how it should be done. With a transparent heart, with faith in the power of divine love, with hope for who we are as a human being and who we all are as human beings in terms of becoming. And let us know and let us choose to let divine love guide our way. I claim for myself that a divine love guides my way, knowing I do not need to be guided by judgment, by anger, by resentments, by past hurts, but I can be guided by a divine love that can help me be a presence for healing within myself, healing for people I love, healing for my communities and my country and this incredible thing called humanity all across the world. Allowing and saying yes to divine love being the guide, I know that it informs me through that divine silent voice of the heart that is yet so loud with its call to bring forth the best of what is within us to help ensure that the best takes place around us. So with love, with compassion, with forgiveness, with the willingness to trust, may this divine love bless each of us in profound and renewing ways. And so it is. Amen.
Things look so bad everywhere in this whole world. What is fair? We walk blind, but we try and see, falling behind to what could be. Bring me a higher love. Bring me a higher love. Oh, bring me a higher love. It's that higher love I've been thinking of.
Tom. Thank you, Rob. Yeah, we can applaud again. Yeah, let's do it. And thanks to everyone in this sanctuary and everyone who's in our virtual sanctuary for all that you do to support this incredible Mile High Church. We have thrived through this time, but at the same time, it hasn't been the same without people here. And so coming back and building brick by brick our spiritual community is just a passion project for all of us. And so grateful that we can do it together, and so grateful for all of the financial support that's been given us. I want to take a moment to shout out to our incredible usher teams. So grateful for Reverend Jackie Harris and Ken Nakamura and this group of folks. So grateful for our safety team, led by Joel Dash, and just everyone who is helping to make this a safe environment. And so knowing, if you're in the room, there's offering baskets on the way outside, but we all, wherever we are, we can just metaphorically take our gift and know that it blesses not only this Mile High spiritual community, but all of us within it. So let us take that gift and affirm together: divine love as me blesses, multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is. Amen.
I will bless the Lord at all times, and these praises shall continually be in my mouth. No matter what I see or how I feel, as long as I'm breathing, oh yes, I'm breathing, I'll bless the Lord. As long as I'm breathing, oh yes, I'm breathing, I'll bless the Lord. I will bless the Lord at all times, and these praises shall continually be in my mouth. No matter what I see or how I feel, as long as I'm breathing, oh yes, I'm breathing, I'll bless the Lord. As long as I'm breathing, oh yes, I'm breathing, I'll bless the Lord. Oh, magnify the Lord with me. Let us exalt this name together. Let's lay down our crowns and lift up His name together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. Let's do it together. 'Cause you've been better than good to me. You've been better than good to me. Oh, you've been better than good to me. Better than good to me. I could have been dead, but you've been better than good to me. Could have lost my mind, oh, but you've been better than good to me. Said you've been better than good to me. 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 Could have lost everything, but you didn't see fit to let me lose my mind. All of my joy, all of my peace. Better than good to me. Better than good to me. You've been better than good to me. You've been better than good to me.
Dax Oliver, thank you for being so good to us and being here with us today. Thank you, Tom Litch, and our incredible Mile High Band.
Great.
So good, again, to hear those applauses. Everyone, we have a special announcement to make today. This is Reverend Michelle Scavetta. Everyone say hi to Reverend Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
And Reverend Michelle has been doing such an important work for 15 years and even longer with our youth department. She's been the director of our teen ministry here. It's such an important, thriving ministry, and the time has come for Reverend Michelle to let that part of her ministry go. And Michelle's not going anywhere. She's continuing to grow in her ministry here at Mile High Church. She works with our next gen. She is an important part of our education ministry, and more to come. But it's so important when Spirit calls and calls one to let go, to listen, to do that. And I had my first experience in this work was with teens, and I still look back, it was over 15 years ago, and I think it's still the most important work that I've done in ministry, and you have touched and been a part of uplifting thousands of teens' life, and I know you'll still do it in different ways, but we just really honor you, and we couldn't let this go without acknowledging this incredible service that you've given to our teenagers. So let's hear it for Reverend Michelle. We are so grateful to our youth director, Stacy Butters, and I think a lot of this work she did with this guy right here, Dr. Barry Ebert. So grateful for him, and so grateful for you, Stacy.
Well, I would need hours to tell you how great Michelle is, but as I reflect on her time with the teens, I'm really struck by 3 things that you have really modeled over all of your time. Believe in yourself, healthy, trusting, supporting relationships, and service, which is everything from teaching a teen to make a latte right here on our campus to doing volunteer work in global communities around the world. So I'm grateful that those things will now just be done in a new way, still at Mile High, and for all the heart that you have really brought to the youth program here.
And I just want to speak a word of gratitude. Having found Mile High Church as a teenager, I thank you on behalf of every teen you've ever supported and uplifted. I look you in the eye and say, you've made a big difference, I know, to the teenagers, and many of those have gone on to be wonderful, amazing adults, their hearts filled with a message of a loving adult like you standing with them and witnessing their magnificence. So on behalf of them, thank you, Michelle, for your years of service. Yes. You're going to get to see Michelle teaching classes and doing some wonderful things because we've got things planned for you. And today, before you go, we just want to remind you that we do have a couple of classes coming up. This Thursday night, Dr. Patty will be starting an online practical mysticism class. And so a wonderful way to get your mystic self online. It's going to be wonderful. You can sign up at the Mile High Church webpage for that class. And we also are happy to be bringing Sister Joan Chittister here on April 16th. We'll be bringing her also virtually. She's doing a virtual event based on her book, The Time Is Now. In that book, Sister Joan suggests that we as spiritual beings can all be prophets that go out into the world and make a difference and make the world a better place. And she talks very pointedly about how we can do that. So we hope you'll join us for that event. This Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, Reverend Masando will be here giving us a great message, so you can tune in for that. And now as we go forth, let's do so in love and light, knowing that we do love like that in every moment of our day, in every relationship, in every decision, in every choice. We are the love that God is. Thank you, life, and so it is.
On earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as our power, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me, and let the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.